Hi everyone, thanks for being here first of all. My name is Nikolay and this is Deyan. So today we want to tell you a story about our shift to agile mindset. So very quickly we'll tell you today who we are, then we'll come across some pink elephants. Deyan will tell you about our first retrospective. We'll speak about safe workshop. Earlier in Maxima we have actually heard something about scaled agile framework, so you'll see our reading of this one. I will tell you a story about the cultural change team, and then we'll go to the shift and the agile principle number 5. So let me start. Who we are. My name is Nikolay Milenkov, as you could see outside. I'm actually a runner. I run a lot. I spend all my money on running gear, racing fees, hotel fees, whatever. And sorry, that was for another. I need to start over again. Okay, my name is Nikolay, and I'm a product manager in Digital Workplace Services. This is the name of the organization that we work with. So what I do there is I work in a team of IT professionals. I guess you recognize some of those. And we deliver workplace services to the Commerzbank employees. So we do internal work there. We don't deliver work to outside customers, but we are mainly involved in the services used by the company employees. We have been in Bulgaria since 2021, more or less. And since then, we have gone through various iterations of meeting our people and our colleagues, but mainly we are located in 2 countries, here in Sofia, and another team which is in Germany, in Frankfurt. What we did over the past 3 to 4 years was we met many times, and we have been going into workshops, small workshops, big workshops, a lot of meetings, just to improve our network, but also to socialize a little bit and to get the work done. So I'll tell you something about our first meeting. There was a workshop 2 years ago, and actually we started very good. So we socialized, we did a lot of networking, we spoke about processes, and we've gone through some of the things that we were doing in the bank. And at the end of the workshop, few people from the attendees, mainly from the management, they have received a gift. And it was a small gift. It was a toy of an elephant. Later on, we called that the pink elephant. So what we've realized was that this workshop was a kind of a feedback session. That was our kind of first retrospective, because during the workshop, we had a lot of discussions, but at the end of the discussions, we just found issues. And we had a lot of concerns after the workshop. I come from one of the teams, we have more teams, but in my team we have identified some of those so-called pink elephants. So we spoke a lot about leadership, about organization, we spoke a lot about end-user processes or knowledge management processes, and that's how the workshop ended. And we realized we need to do something. We need to fix it somehow. How did we fix it? It's easy, we made a plan, so we had an action plan. What you see here is the number of our epic that we've put in Jira. And the key thing about our epic is we have agreed that we will work on the following: improve the incident management process by presenting and preparing a plan. Presenting and preparing a plan. It's kind of a good action plan. What happens after that? You just deliver a plan. Nobody knows what will happen next. Is it going to be implemented? Who will do the work? Anyway, that was our deliverable, have a plan. It's a funny thing there because it's our retrospective. But at the same time, there was another team, Deyan's coming from it, who had a different kind of a workshop or a different kind of a feedback session.
Thank you. Should I? Yeah. Hi. So, let me now bring you to the exact opposite side of the office, where we launched a completely new team, and it was new to the bank, it was new to Agile and Scrum, and it was new to the product. So people had literally zero knowledge, and also their Scrum Master had zero experience before on the role. And so I had to present the framework, right? And I remember, so we started with dailies, we started with planning, everything went well, and then we had to have our first retrospective. And then I remember a couple of days before the session, I go on the daily and I say, look guys, we're gonna have a retrospective. And they were like, you're gonna have a what? And I'm like, we're gonna have a retrospective. What is this shit? Well, you know, this is a place where we get together, we speak about our team, how we can, you know, get better, make our life easier, how we become more productive. And they were like, but will there be any code? And I'm like, no code, no technical stuff. We're just gonna speak about how we can get better. And I swear, you could literally see the disappointment on their face that there is one more session where they will not speak about technical stuff. However, it went well. So our first retro went well, our second retro went well, and then on the third retro, I started to spot a trend in the feedback. And that trend was they were always answering to the question, what went well, with a very specific feedback. What went well? Teamwork. What went well? Teamwork. Third retro. We're doing this word cloud where we didn't reveal the feedback from the beginning. And then there were like 2 things written. And then one was very big, and I already knew what it was. And they revealed it. It was teamwork, surprise. And then the second one, I was like, okay, well, it's something else. And then they revealed that, and it was teamwork, but with a C instead of a K at the end. And that was the second feedback, and this is where I snapped, and I said, stop. Guys, stop. We stopped the retro here. I pointed to a guy and said, please explain. What do you mean by teamwork? Give me an example. Why do you put that word there? And so the guy took the mic, so not the mic, but unmuted, and say, well, you know, the other day we had that pretty big issue, and I needed help, and then I pointed to a guy, and then he came to help, and then another one joined, and everybody helped, and we solved the issue. And I was like, and it was awesome. And so this is how, So this is how we found out that in that specific situation, teamwork was more than a general feedback, actually. It turned out they were doing that for quite a while now. So they've been getting together a lot, working a lot, doing that collaboration thing from the very, very beginning. And they were just not very open in the beginning. However, that started working well for a longer period afterwards. We started to deliver some results. And after some time, we sat down and analyzed what actually made these people collaborate. And so here is the second lesson, that in order to have a team to build and they start collaborating and work as a team, in our case, we had to have certain conditions. So remember in the beginning I said that everybody was new, and so this is the first lesson. We were in the same boat. So if one person is to go, the whole boat goes down. So there are no single player here. It's all multiplayer. So that was the first condition that formed the team. The second one was that we were all equally unskilled to do the work, which means that there were no barriers between people. And that pressure of something very knowledgeable, that you have a lot of respect to approach for a person who is new to the company and into the team, that literally didn't exist in that case. And that was a very, very strong thing that helped our team. And of course, we had a common goal. So we were tasked with a product, deliver this product with a specific deadline, so everybody really wanted to do this. So basically we have the mission to make something work on which we didn't have any knowledge about. And so this is where I will stop, and I'll return to Nikki to see how their outcomes actually brought some success, and then we'll return to see how this team also learned from that.
So do you remember the plan, the action plan, and the Jira epic with the stories? So guess what? We completed it. All marked as done. So I can assure you that we had a plan and we presented a plan. That's it. That's all we did. Well, actually, you know, how do you fix something if you have a problem? It sometimes sounds like what they do in our parliament. You know, every time they make a commission because they have something, so they want to discuss it. So we did something similar. We did another workshop. Let me tell you a story about this one. So what you see in the picture here, it's a small German town. Its name is Bad Hersfeld, and it's a kind of a spa center. So there is a sanatorium, and you can do some stuff there, and you can treat yourself, and you can cure yourself, and you can hopefully get better. That was an interesting place also because this is actually the hometown of our boss and our leader of the organization. So that's where our next workshop took place. So it felt like we go there to cure ourselves, or at least to have some spa procedures or something like that. That was the time when we made a decision, and earlier they spoke about scaling Agile. This was the time we went to get another workshop, but not only. We actually got a training. So we went to SAFE training. All the senior leadership were going into that training, and we got certified, and we got a lot of stuff. But again, how do you make changes just like that? Culture eats strategy for breakfast. The reality is you cannot do anything, as it was earlier said, you can't do scaled Agile if your baseline is not to the Agile mindset. We simply couldn't do it like that. The reality was we've realized during this workshop and before leaving the hotel and going to the airport that we need to make something different and bigger. It was not about trainings, it's not about certification, it was about something else. It was about the people. It was about the big fish of culture eating the small fish of every single certificate, methodology, tool you want to implement in your organization, but you don't know how. Because the people make the changes, not the books, not the theory. Luckily, we had a lot of people in our organization, but few of them who truly believed and they wanted to become the pioneers, the people who wanted to make it work because they believed it worked. They were motivated, they wanted to do it, and they became the ambassadors of this thing. None of them scaled Agile professional or professional trainer, part of the team. So everyone who wanted raised the hand and said, I want to change the culture. I want to make it work because I believe it will work. If you can just for a moment stand up, and the rest of the people in the room, just give some applause to some of those people because they sit with us today. Come on, guys. So these were the believers. We've set up something we called Cultural Change Workstream. It was just one of the work streams, of course. Moving to SAFE, we had 3 more, but I represent the Cultural Change Workstream because we made a group, we wanted to change the culture. So we started working with our colleagues, we were delivering trainings, we were recording trainings, we were meeting people, we were running anything we could, as I said, unprofessionally because we were not professional trainers, because we wanted to slowly make the difference. At the end, we have even ended the whole, let's say, session with a quiz. So there was a prize for those who won the quiz, how much they know about SAFE and the changes we were moving to. So the thing we've learned at that time was you can't make any change unless you have some motivated individuals and you have people who believe in what they want to do and they really do it. That's the only way that you can succeed. Motivated individuals is also a topic which is covered by Deyan, so I'll go back to him again.
Yes, so over time we started delivering some good results. We made good progress towards our goal. However, of course, a team is always a work in progress, so we spotted something, and from time to time people would stay late, especially when there is an issue, and they would stay as a team and try to fix it. So far, so good. However, after 3 or 4 times, I asked them, hey guys, you know what? We're not paying overtime, right? There is no customer impact, we are not on production. Why do you do that? And they didn't really first understood the question. Or they just said, well, there was an issue, we wanted to fix it, and we wanted to make it work. And then that answer continued once, twice, 3rd time, 4th time. And then, of course, what do? We sit down and analyze. And what we concluded, and especially from one-to-one conversations, is that we forgot 2 important details in order to explain what was happening there, why people were staying late when you're not required to be there. So, first of all, these people were new to their role, and second one, the project was not finished yet. And from the conversation, we found out that these people, they wanted to deliver the project for the company, of course, but first and foremost, they wanted to prove to themselves that they can do it. Because they were pursuing a new career being also in that team. Remember, they had 0 knowledge before that. So they wanted to prove to themselves that they can reach the target, they can reach that goal. So that led us to a cliché, which first is there is no I in team. I disagree. There is an I in team. And if you open the infamous manifesto, Agile Principle number 5, will tell you that you should build projects around motivated individuals. Not motivated teams, it says motivated individuals. You have to have people who want to do the work, who want to make it work, who want to deliver. And this is the first prerequisite for us, at least this is what we found. The first thing for the recipe to succeed, have people who are motivated to do the work. I have a favorite author. He writes in sports. His name is Matt Fitzgerald. And he speaks about the power of the mind and how great athletes, whatever they achieve, they do it first in their mind and they have the proper mindset to do it. And his main argument is that motivation is the first ingredient for the athletes to go there and to start a race and later to finish the race. But in his book, Matt asks a question, or at least he paraphrases the thoughts of the athletes, and he finds out that every athlete has an answer to a very, very specific question. And that question is, how bad do you want it? If you do have an answer, and that doesn't apply only to your work, it applies to our life, it applies to everywhere. If you know your why, and if you know how bad do you want something, then you probably already know whether you're going to get there. In our case, we were lucky to have people who really wanted it bad. First, to prove it to themselves that they can do it, and second, to prove the others that they can do it. And from there, grow as professionals and grow as people. And with that, I think we are slowly moving to our conclusion.
Every time I see the word Bad, it comes again to this Bad Hersfeld, the German town. I'm not that good at German, so I guess it's just because if it was in English, it would be with TH, but it's not. Anyway, Bad Hersfeld was the beginning of SAFE in this organization, in our team. You know one key thing about SAFE, and they spoke about that earlier. It's the Agile Release Train. I'm not sure how bad we wanted that one, but this journey continued literally. And we were lucky we had a chance to change some of our slides earlier in the week, because last week, obviously, we wanted that bad. You can see our team. It was the workshop of the workshops, or more like a team event. That was the closure of that journey. The journey happened in a train because we have released our trains, let's put it this way. So you can see it was a train. We traveled to the seaside, by the way. You can see it empty, so at least people are not angry with me if I put too many faces. You can see me on the left picture, but at least you don't have the full team. But it was 3 departments train. We spent 7 hours together. It was a kind of a closure of the whole journey, and the way we did it, from the first workshop, the pink elephants, the way we've come to the second workshop and starting to talk about agile release trains, the cultural change work stream, and the way we were changing the culture of the organization to getting on the train together. Or in our case, by the way, 3 departments, we actually have 3 trains in the team now, to spend 7 hours together just celebrating the success. So what have we learned? And I think we've learned it also from some other people during this the whole day in presentations. If you want to make things work, and if you want to make things clear to everyone, you need to have a proper feedback. If you don't get feedback, how do you know what you need to change? Without any feedback and without the transparency, you won't be able to make your next step. Second thing you need people, not just people who must do things or they have to be there 8 to 5 or something like that. You need motivated people, people who believe, people who truly think this is the way they need to go and this is how the whole organization succeeds, and people who recognize that there is also value to themselves in it. And the last thing, those people can't do it alone, so it's the team without I or the team with the I, but everyone has an individual presence in that team. But at the end of the day, the teamwork is what will make it successful. It doesn't really matter if you come from his organization and team or from mine. It's always the same thing. You need to work with people. You need to, not to change them by power, but you need to work with them, so make the change of their mindset. Because if they believe and if they trust you, that would be much better and successful than if they don't. Thank you.